welcome back, y'alls, to another live. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get everything set up real quick, and then we're gonna jump right on into it. We got ourselves, unfortunately, some more severe weather today. Ugh, aren't y'all tired of it? I know I am. It's been a very active last little bit. What up, Isaac? Welcome, welcome. What's up, Hockey? Hope you guys are doing good. Good morning to y'alls. What's up? Oh shoot, I forgot how you say your name. Roisin, right? Is that it? What's up, Raka? What's up, Tabletop? Should my area be looking today and tomorrow? Tabletop, dude. Here, let's pull up the day one outlook. We got a big ol' enhanced today, unfortunately. So yeah, you do have a level 1 threat today and a level 1 threat tomorrow. Tornado-wise, you have a 2% chance today and a 2% chance tomorrow. So, I mean, the odds are pretty low, but yeah, I would keep an eye on it. Roisin. Man, I am sorry. I'm so bad at these names, dude. Oh, buddy. Anyways, folks, we got a big day today. We have a big old enhance today. Today, the hot spot's going to be across areas like Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, portions of Georgia here. So, in terms of tornadoes, we do got ourselves pretty big hatch risk for tornadoes today. So, the area here in the black, as you guys might be familiar with, the dashed line area here, is representing the possibility of a couple strong tornadoes, perhaps EF2 or greater. Potential across the area here in the dashed yellow area. 10% chance over or otherwise across the yellow here for tornadic activity. 5% chance across the brown, and a 2% chance across the green here. Now, in terms of damaging winds, we still don't really have too much more of an update here. We do have ourselves essentially, we do have ourselves a big 45% chance out there for damaging winds. Now, the good news, as of now, it's not hatch risk. So we're not expecting like super excessive winds today, but we are talking the potential for some gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour. So that's for the most part, across the risk area. So a whopping 45% chance of damaging winds across the purplish color here. We have a red area here indicating that 30% chance for damaging winds, and the yellow indicating a 15%, and then lastly the brown, a 5% chance for damaging winds today. So, and also in terms of hail, they actually did add a hatch risk for hail today across portions of western Kentucky, southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, the very southern tip of Illinois, eastern Arkansas, northwestern Mississippi, and western Tennessee, where we do have a hatch risk now for the potential of large hail, actually 2-3 inches in diameter, or maybe even larger. So, big stuff. Katie says, I'm an extreme southwestern tip of Virginia with Tennessee and Kentucky 10 minutes from me. Will I be okay? I'm doing, yeah, you should be fine. It just, I guess, they did extend that, didn't they? Oh, shoot. I thought that they had a marginal out here. No, actually, it depends on where you're at, like how far southwest, but from what it sounds like, you're like on this side over here. So if you know like Pennington Gap, Big Stone Gap, Norton Wise, this is a level 3 threat. It's a level 2 threat towards like Gate City, Lebanon. So tornado wise, we for most of the southwestern side of Virginia, we do have ourselves a 5% chance here for tornadoes here across the brown. Once again, 10% across the yellow, 2% across the green. Damaging winds towards Pennington and Wise, we have the potential here for, essentially 30% chance here for damaging wind gusts. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we have a 15% risk out there. So, yeah, definitely need you to be weather aware today. That is for sure. What's up, Becca? Hope you're doing good. Saying this is so nuts. Today is my daughter's 8th graduation. Or 8th grade graduation. 8th graduation. I'm like, dang, she graduated a lot. Oh, man. That's what happens when you don't read the full thing. I do that sometimes. It's like I skip words when I'm reading sometimes. So I'm sorry. Let's see here. Do I know around what time the tornado risk will be here in Tennessee? Thank you, bunches. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. All right, so let's take a peek at the models here, y'all. We're gonna bring up the HRRR, the good old trusty HRRR here. We'll do the 12 Zulu because we have a fresh long run, thankfully, which is gonna make things a lot more nice. Okay, so taking a look at this, you guys can't really see the time, but I'll read it out for you, just to make it easy for you. All right, so it does look like a lot of the heavy stuff is going to be kicking off here later this evening. This morning, going into the afternoon, you can see at coordinate HRRR, we do have a little bit of storm activity for the western side that rolls through, possibly rolling through Nashville around noon or so. But then you can see once we approach our way, this is 3 o'clock p.m., so 4, 5, 6, you can see how everything starts to kind of, go up in activity. Then we go into 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9, 10, 11, 12, and then back to 1 a.m. And then by basically the early morning tomorrow, things should calm down a bit. So, I mean, yeah, a little bit of storm activity this morning in western Tennessee, and then the big stuff isn't supposed to really happen until kind of the late afternoon, early evening, if that helps. So, you meant Nashville. Okay, well, yeah, for Nashville, that's, we have a little bit of storm potential this morning, but that's not going to be it. According to the HRRR here, you can see that we do get some more cells potentially developing here, as we work our way into the evening overall. So, yeah, definitely keep an eye on it, my friend. Be weather aware. Multiple rounds of storms will be possible today. And, given that you are in Nashville, we do have that level 3 enhanced risk for today, which does indicate a 10% significant risk for tornadoes. So potential for a couple big ones. We can't rule it out. The odds of you specifically getting a tornado is still pretty low, but still need to be weather aware. We do have that 45% chance for damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour mostly. And in terms of hail, we do have a 15% chance. Now, believe it or not, right now, you can actually see that line of storms that was kind of showing up here on the HRRR. Now, this is current radar. This is like now. But you can kind of see we do have a little bit of convection towards Nashville right now, including a severe thunderstorm warning to the southwest towards Lobelville, I'm not sure on that one, towards Centerville as well. This does have a tornado possible tag, but it's warned for mostly or really only just wind potential overall. Brandy coming in with a $3 Cash App donation saying thank you, my friend. Brandy, you are very welcome. Thank you so much for the Cash App donation. That's very sweet of you, my friend. Thank you. That's really, really sweet of you. You guys really do help keep us going. I really appreciate it. I can't say it enough. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, my friend. Let's see here. What's up, Brandy? Hope you're doing good. Once again, thank you so much for that. That's really sweet of you. Becca says, thank you so much. At least if the tornado comes, we'll be in a big brick building. You're amazing. Thank you for everything you do for us. You're very welcome, my friend. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so, once again, Nashville's starting to get a little bit of convection, but that's just kind of be the ongoing thing, later today. I mean, there's going to be more storms later this evening too. So, this morning convection that we're getting here is not going to be it. It's going to be a couple rounds more than likely. So let's see. Brandy says you keep us safe. Hey, you know what? That's what we're here for, man. I tell you, we're here to help you guys out, help keep you guys weather aware and prepared. Iguana says, timeline for Georgia. Good question, my friend. So according to HRRR here, the latest run that we do have on the models here. So it does look like it's going to be kind of late before we start to get a lot of storm activity in Georgia. You can kind of start to see, according to the HRRR, we start to get some storm activity rolling into the northwestern side, kind of the northern side here of Georgia. Kind of for later on this evening. This is kind of right around like 9, 10 p.m. or so. Now, regarding that, we can't take this 100% for what it is, but we can, we can kind of get an idea saying, hey, there could be some storms later on this evening. Models, they're not perfect, but they do kind of, help us understand what the conditions could look like, essentially. So, with that being said, we will definitely, need to look out there for later on this evening. But for most of the day, it is going to be relatively Relatively calm. You probably hear my cat. He just came in here. Here, hold on one sec. He's being a needy cat today. Come on, buddy. I got a weather forecast to do, man. I'll give you some love later on. I feel so bad, dude. Oh, he just wanted some attention. Anyways, tabletop, what time could I see storms? It doesn't look like we don't get some. I mean, it looks like it could just be kind of at random intervals throughout the day today. You can kind of see it's relatively isolated, so it's kind of hard to tell for an exact time. Just keep an eye on it, and we'll have to, just look out throughout the day. Becca with the 15 Cash App donation. Thank you so much, Sam, thank you for all you do. Becca, that is so sweet of you. Thank you so much for that. That is really, really nice of you, my friend. You did not have to do that. Thank you so much. Brandy. I will make sure to do that. Oh, man. Let's see here. What do I think about Hilton's, Virginia? Here, let's pull up Hilton's real quickly. Hilton's, Virginia. Let's see here. Alrighty. Okay, so you are also in the southwestern side of Virginia. Got you, my friend. So, Hilton's, we are in the level 2 threat for today. So the scale goes from 1 to 5. The maximum risk today is a level 3. We are in the level 2, okay? So we do need to be weather aware today. So there is a slight risk here, level 2 threat for severe weather. Tornado-wise, you have a 5% chance of having a tornado within a 25-mile radius around you. In terms of damaging winds, we do have a 15% chance overall here for gusty winds, potential of gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour within the storm, not outside of the storm, but within the storm activity if we do get it. Not everybody will see severe weather in the risk area. It's just probability based here. In terms of hail, we do have that 5% chance for hail. So hail's kind of a low threat today. Tornado-wise, relatively low as well. The main concern today is going to be the threat for gusty winds. So keep it out there for that. Let's see here. Iguana says models were forecasting linear line by the time I got to Georgia, but that doesn't look very linear. Yeah, this is the 12 Zulu here. It looks very multicellular, like we're getting a bunch of just scattered storms. I mean, you can kind of see there is, some big clumps of storms that do eventually kind of roll through some of the regions here, but yeah, it's not really a full-on, linear system here today. So yeah, it's pretty all over the place essentially. Chronic says, any chance that we get a bust on tornado chances afternoon for Northwest Tennessee? I'm sick of sitting in my closet. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hope so. I mean, there's no way of seeing if it's going to bust until after the event happens, of course. Because if we knew it was going to bust, then we wouldn't have a big risk out there. But, given the way it is, I mean, you are in that hatch risk for tornadoes, that 10% chance. You should be weather aware regardless, my friend. Just try not to worry about it. You know what? I tell you what, my friend, you should. One thing I'd recommend is during the storms, turn on some music. Listen to music to help distract your mind. But just make sure you have a way to receive warnings. And if you do get them, know where to go in case if a warning is issued, okay? But yeah, try to, whenever storms happen, just listen to music. That's what I usually do sometimes. I used to be scared of storms, and that's what I did to help cope with it. It does help. Kind of distract because, the thunder can be a little bit unexpected sometimes. Sometimes it just comes out of nowhere, in which that can be scary to some people. So I don't know if that would help. Just, trying to offer some advice. But yeah, we do need you to be weather aware today. In terms of gusty winds, we do have that 30% chance for wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour. Most homes are easily able to withstand those winds. But just if you do get in that warning, go indoors away from windows, okay? And in terms of hail, we actually do have a hatch risk now for hail, for the potential of hail 2 to 3 inches in diameter and larger. So that is going to be a possibility for potential large hail. They did add that risk here earlier this morning for portions of like eastern Arkansas, like northwestern Mississippi, western Tennessee, like western Kentucky and whatnot. So yeah, we do need to look out there for that concern here as well. Let's see here. Becca says, thank you again. I hope y'all have a good day today. Have lunch on me. Thank you, Becca. I appreciate that once again. That's very, very sweet of you, my friend. Thank you once again. That was super nice of you. You definitely did have to do that. What's up, Barbara? Saying, what am I thinking for the Seaverville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area? Alrighty, my friend. Well, Gatlinburg, I remember it's somewhere out here. I've been to Gatlinburg. It's actually pretty cool. Let me go ahead and just look it up here. It'll probably be a lot quicker than me looking for it. Okay, so Gatlinburg here, we're just going to use that for an example. So we do have a level 2 threat. You can kind of see that level 3 is not far from Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg itself is in the level 2 threat here for today. Tornado-wise, we have a 5% chance for tornadoes. We have ourselves a 15% chance for gusty winds, perhaps up to 60, maybe 70 miles an hour in terms of gusts within the storm. And then in terms of hail, we do have a 5% chance out there for hail as well. So keep an eye out there for it, my friend. A little bit of severe weather is possible. The main concern, though, of course, is going to be that concern for gusty winds, okay? But hopefully that helps, my friend. Alyssa says, I'm scared. I hate storm anxiety. I understand. And try not to worry about it, my friend. I know it's easier said than done. Alyssa, one thing I would recommend for you, and for people who have storm anxiety, learn how to read radar. It is a really good tool to know. For example, like say you see a storm coming your way. Learn how to read velocity, correlation coefficient, and reflectivity. Those are really the main ones that you need to learn, because with those tools, they can unlock so much. That way you can kind of see what's going on in the storm near you, right? So velocity is used for looking for rotation and, potential for strong wind gusts. And in terms of correlation coefficient, we use that to look for debris. If we have an area of tight rotation, we use correlation coefficient to look and see if there is any debris in the air. So between all those, it can kind of give you the peace of mind. That way you can kind of look at the radar and be like, oh, okay, so there is no rotation in this storm. I should be fine. So if you learn how to read radar, that is a very, very good tool to have whenever you do get weather. And it really does help calm the nerves. And another thing is like, if it makes you feel better, regardless of it being warned or not, go to your safe spot. That way you're already in there and it just makes you feel better. And while you're in there, you can listen to music, do whatever you want. That's what I would personally recommend for helping that. But anyways, hopefully that helps, and hopefully, that could help for you. Anyways, let's see here. Yeah, use well, Brandy. Thank you once again for the support. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Tanya wants me to look at Smithville, Tennessee. Let's see here. We, my friend, I believe we're into level 3 today. Yep. So we have that enhancements today, my friend. So you do need to be weather aware. We do have a 10% chance for tornadoes here. So keep an eye out there for that potential. That's still a 1 in 10 shot, pretty low odds, but keep an eye out there for it. In terms of damaging winds, though, that's going to be kind of your main concern. We have a 45% chance for damaging wind gusts, for the possibility of gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we do have ourselves a 15% chance for hail between 1 to 2 inches in diameter possible. So, by far the main concern today is going to be the threat for, damaging winds following that hail and tornado concern probability-wise. So that is that. Anyways, but that is, that is what we're looking out there for. So definitely be weather aware, my friend. Like I said, if you have any more questions, let me know, okay? Let's see here. That's so fair, Chronic. Alrighty, Airborne, I got you, my friend. Let's take a peek at your area, see what you got going on. By the way, guys, if you could, consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button. It'll be greatly appreciated. It'll help go a long way and, potentially helping other people out, help YouTube reach us to other people. So you, my friend, are in a level 3 today. Tornado-wise, we have a 10% chance for tornadoes. We have a 45% chance for damaging wind gusts. And lastly, we do have ourselves a 15% chance out there for hail. So that is that, my friend. So please, be weather aware today. Keep an eye on the storms. Timing-wise, the models kind of suggest that, convection kind of rolling into Alabama fairly late today. So you'll be getting probably some of your storm activity in the evening. I can't give you a specific time due to the fact that models they're good, but they're not that good, being precise on the timing and whatnot. So just sometime probably late this afternoon going into the evening would be the time where you could see that for the most part. Renita coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Renita. That's really sweet of you, my friend. Thank you. That is really, really nice. Saying, hey, Andrew, did it change from last night, or is it still the same for me? Is the wind going to be bad? I'm scared of another tree coming down in my house again. No, it's not working today. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the $10, my friend. But yeah, you are in a level 1 threat for today. We were doing your update here yesterday, and you're in that general thunderstorm threat. The Storm Prediction Center did, in fact, add you into the level 1 severe weather threat, but try not to worry about it, because, it is a relatively low-end risk. We can't rule out severe weather, but the odds are pretty low, given that you're in that level 1. Now, tornado-wise, you are right on the edge of that 2% chance. The odds are extremely low for you to get a tornado. They're very, very low for today. In terms of damaging wind gusts, we do have that 5% chance for gusty winds. And in terms of hail, there is no hail threat for you today. So what I need you to do is just look out for mostly some storms that could contain some gusty wind, very, very low chance for tornadoes today overall. Now, tomorrow, we are outside of the severe weather risk area, but we do have a general thunderstorm risk, saying that a few booms of thunder can't be ruled out. We can't rule that out potentially, but, nothing severe tomorrow. And same thing here for Thursday. So, yeah, just today, a little risk, nothing super, super big. So, try not to worry about it too much. But, yeah, keep it on the radar. And, if you have a way to receive warnings, make sure you have that, ready to go because, it could be helpful. But, the odds of you getting severe weather today is actually very, very low. Okay. Anyways, let's see here. What's up, Fire News saying, hey, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Steven says, I just got back from Somerset earlier. Most of the people up there are worried that we're going to have another tornado today. The odds of that, while, even in that 10% risk here, is a decent risk for tornadic activity collectively. For one specific area, it's still very unlikely that you'll get a tornado. Now, that doesn't mean you should ignore it. Definitely not. You do need to be actively watching. But remember, not everybody will see severe weather in the risk area. So, and, not even everybody will see thunderstorms some of the times in the risk area. It's just saying that the environment in these areas is capable of producing this type of weather. Does that make sense? So yeah, just know that, the odds of that specifically happening is pretty low, but the risk is there and we should monitor it. Yes, definitely. Okay. The threat for Georgia will be nocturnal. I might do coverage tonight on it if it warrants. If it's nothing super crazy, then I probably won't, but I might. If it is pretty bad, I might do some night coverage maybe. Let's see here. Alrighty. Let's see here. What about Harriman, Tennessee, between 9 and 12 a.m.? Gotcha. Let's see here. Harriman, Tennessee here. So we are in that level 3. First of all, I'll just go ahead and tell you real quickly. You have a 10% non-significant tornado risk here, 45% chance for damaging winds, and a 15% chance for hail. Now, timing-wise, estimates in terms of, when we could start to see some storms, it does look like kind of by the later afternoon, early evening, we could get some storms. And, it's going to be kind of scattered throughout the evening. You can kind of see We could just get a bunch of scattered thunderstorms throughout the day, but it doesn't look like that's going to really start until like later on this afternoon, kind of late afternoon going into the early evening there. So, keep an eye out there for the weather. I mean, yeah, there is that threat for severe weather. But that's kind of what the HRRR suggests with the timing. Of course, we can't take the model approximately because, while models are really good and they do help us out with guidance, they are still not perfect. They're far from it. But anyways. Hopefully that helps. Let's see here. Let's see. What time do I think it'll start in Fayette County, Tennessee? Let's see here. The county right beside Memphis. Gotcha. Here, let me just pull it up here for you. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and bring this back. So over to the HRRR, it does show the possibility of some storms rolling through kind of like early this afternoon, as you can kind of see. Now, looking at the radar now, there already is some convection out here by the Nashville region, so you'll probably be seeing some storms relatively soon, if you're not already. And you can kind of see there is not just one, but kind of two lines of storms. One line, the front line's not really, or it is not severe currently, but there is a couple of severe storms on that second line. That is rolling towards you as well. That'll probably be, another hour or two after the first line kind of rolls through. So keep an eye out there for that. It's going to be multiple rounds. And even after the second line, according to HRRR here, we could even get some more convection later on this evening. So it's not going to be just like a one and done type of event like some events are, especially those long line, the squall line events. No, this one's going to be kind of like multiple rounds of potential storms rolling through. So, yeah, I mean, definitely keep an eye on it. Storms could start, like I mentioned, as early as now or relatively soon, given that current radar does show a bit of convection out there currently. But that's just going to kind of be on and off potentially all throughout the day. Okay. Anyways, Renita says, thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate your support, my friend. That was really sweet of you, my friend. You really did not have to say that. And I just realized how much I say my friend in this channel. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, my friend. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Oh man, I need some new vocabulary, you guys. Let's see here. Official says, my favorite thing about weather is when we had a hailstorm 2 weeks ago. It felt like crisp, cool day after. Yeah, hail is interesting. And it can be pretty crazy. That's for sure. There was a time, a little bit of a funny story, or I don't know if it's funny or not, but there was a time, like when I was, this is probably about maybe 5 or 10 years ago, we had a big hailstorm when I lived in Virginia, and I ended up using some of the hail as ice cubes in my drink. Oh, buddy. Anyways, moving on. Walker says, watching from southeastern Illinois. Thanks for the feed. Yeah, man, no problem. You're very, very welcome. So for Illinois, just a bit of a heads up. I don't know if you already knew this or not, but you should be weather aware. It depends on where you're at in Illinois. For a lot of central southern Illinois, we do have a level 2 threat, but there is a little bit of the extreme southern tip of the region of southern Illinois here, towards like Vienna, that does have that level 3 threat. So, regardless, a lot of Illinois definitely needs to be weather aware today. That risk is just outside of Chicago, which, does ride up pretty far into the, into the state here. So, yeah, Illinois should be weather aware today. What's up, Pro Magic? Hope you're doing good. Wants me to take a look at Missouri at the zip code. Yeah, no problem, man. I got you. By the way, if you guys haven't already, consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button. It'll be greatly appreciated, my friend. Okay, so you are in the level 2 threat, my friend, today. That does give you a 5% chance for tornadoes, a 15% chance for gusty winds, possibly ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And in terms of hail, we have a 5% chance for hail, ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So, yeah, we do need you to be weather aware today. There is potential for all hazards of severe weather. If there's a warning that gets issued, make sure that you take action accordingly. But if you have any more questions, let me know. Nature's ice. It really is. Let's see here. What's up, Ghosted? Hope you're doing good. Saying burning up in Florida. We need rain. Good to see you. Dude, you ain't kidding. It is really hot. I'm actually out here in, I don't know if you knew, I live in Florida too. I'm in Polk County. Yeah, it's been very hot, very, very dry lately. We did get a little bit of rain like a week or two ago, which was nice, but it's still been very dry. Still been very, very dry. What's up, Taylor? Wants me to take a look at Milledgeville. Is that how you say that? Tennessee? Yep, I got you. Let's go and pull that up for you. Let's see here. You, my friend, are in that level 3. So, yeah, you are in the level 3 threat for severe weather today. That is a 10% chance for tornadoes. It is a hatch risk, indicating the potential for strong tornadoes. Now, try not to worry about it. There is, I mean, while the risk is there, the odds of you specifically getting that is pretty darn low still, but don't ignore it. Keep an eye on it. If there is a warning that gets issued, take action. But yeah, keep it out there for the potential of tornadoes today. Now, in terms of damaging winds, we have a 30% chance probability here for damaging wind gusts within the storm, potentially ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. We do not have a hatch risk for damaging winds as of right now, knock on wood. In terms of hail, we do have that 15% chance overall for the hail threat, for the possibility here of hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Okay, so all hazards of severe weather will be possible. You know, you are in that level 3 risk today. Definitely be weather aware, my friend. And if you have any more questions, let me know, okay? Anyways, ProMagic says, thank you. No problem. No problem at all. Renita says, are we getting the 2 lines also? That's for more of for Tennessee. For you, my friend, regarding the mode, you can just kind of see it's a bunch of scattered storms kind of popping off here. You know, this is not going to be until like really late even. Now, given that you're in that marginal risk here, remember that the risk is very low for you seeing the possibility of severe weather. So, you know, the odds are pretty low. But, you know, with that being said, though, I mean, yeah, we should still monitor it. But just remember, the odds of you getting that severe activity is still very low, okay? You're in that level 1, that marginal risk out there. Taylor says, perfect. Yeah. Ghosted says, yeah, when those storms hit last week, I heard, I hail hitting the glass door. Oh, wow. Yeah, we didn't have hail. I mean, we got a little bit of just rainfall. I think we got like a good 2 or 3 inches, which has been much needed, dude. It's crazy. Let me actually bring our way over here to the drought monitor real quickly. Yeah, so if you look at the drought monitor, Florida is still very dry. Very dry, especially towards the Everglades, you know. We're actually very dry out here. We have an extreme drought for areas like Cape Coral, Naples area too. You know, a lot of the Midwest and the Ohio valleys, not in a drought. Gee, I wonder why. All of this crazy weather we've been dealing with, you know. A lot of those central northern plains is a little bit dry, and then the Southwest is dry too, but that's nothing new. That's just how the Southwest is. But yeah, I'm also a little bit of the Mid-Atlantic too, you know, towards like DC area has a bit of a drought. Anyways, moving on. Just wanted to share that real quickly. Yeah, it's been a little rough, that's for sure. You're in the tan color. Yeah, that's I think the tan indicates, what did that indicate? I think yeah, moderate drought. Yeah, moderate drought. That's where I'm at too. That's where I'm at too, in the moderate. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to our rainy season soon. I mean, rainy season should be kind of starting any time now, you know, which hopefully we'll be getting that soon. We need it. Big time. Renita says, I think we all got PTSD after seeing the damage these storms have done. Yeah, that is true. And, you know, seeing a lot of damage and stuff can increase people's storm anxiety. So, yeah, I can understand that. But like I mentioned, I mean, that's the odds of you specifically. I mean, even in the biggest risk for severe weather, if you're in the enhanced today, the odds of you still seeing damaging storms is still pretty darn low. You know, collectively, the odds of us seeing a tornado in the risk area is actually pretty high, but the odds for one specific area is pretty low. Does that make sense? You know, like we mentioned, the yellow indicating that 10% chance for tornadoes, the brown indicating the 5% chance, and the green indicating a small 2% chance overall. Like I said, the main concern today is actually damaging winds, you know, given that the biggest risk here is a 45% chance overall. So, yeah. Ghosted says, let's see, you're in the orange. Yeah. I think June 6th-ish, we should get some rain. Hopefully. Hopefully. It's a little far out to tell, but, that would be really, really nice. Let's take a peek at the satellite, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up here real quickly. Take a peek at SAT. See what's going on right now. We haven't done that this morning. Yeah, you can see that low that's been kicking up here. You see the spinniness going on here. It's actually kind of a handoff low. You can kind of see up in the northern plains here yesterday. That's where that central low is pivoted. And now that central low has been pivoted down towards like the Midwest. If you look towards here, let's zoom in a little bit. If you look right here, you see the swirling over like northern Missouri. That's where the central low is now. So that low is kind of, did a little bit of a handoff. And that's going to strengthen a little bit, as we go through the day, which will increase our wind shear throughout the atmosphere, giving us into an environment where all hazards, of severe weather will be possible. So Chronic says, I want to move back to Michigan, but even they've been getting hammered. Yeah, nowhere is really safe from any type of severe weather. No matter where you live, there's going to be some type of harsh weather. It's just being on Earth, if you're down in the tropics, while severe weather isn't as common, you have hurricanes that's more common. If you live, up north, away from all that, while severe weather and hurricanes isn't common, blizzards is more common, so it's like you really can't escape anything. It's always something. And it's like, say you live in the southwestern U.S., you get some brutal heat and it's dry, which, either or, no matter where you're at, there is weather that will, potentially be pretty nasty sometimes. That's just how it is. Alaska has never had a tornado worse than EF0. Maybe I moved there. Is that true? Is that true? Huh, I'm not too sure on that. I haven't look that up. See, I'll take the blizzard. That's fair. That's fair. Until you can't go anywhere. That's the part that sucks, Same with hurricanes. Like for me, like I don't mind going through the hurricane. It's a thrill going through a hurricane. It's just the aftermath that sucks. The cleanup, the power outages, that's the worst part, That's the part that I hate. But if you're on the coast, it's a bit more of a concern, because you have to deal with the storm surges and all that mess. But yeah, Alaska might be on my radar. Hey, I tell you what, they get some harsh winters though. You better be ready for like really cold temps. So yeah, they definitely do get pretty cold out there. Hurricanes remind me of a living being. Is that weird? They do have names after all. All right. Anyways, folks. So we have a couple of severe thunderstorms going on right now. Up in southwestern, kind of south central Tennessee. This includes Waynesboro, Clifton, Savannah, Walnut Grove. These are just warnings here for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Not warned for any significant or any severe hail, I should say. Yeah, mostly just gusty winds on this line as of right now. Winter's your favorite season, so perhaps I commend. That's true. If you like it, hey, maybe that could be something to look into, but definitely not for everybody, I'll tell you that. I would die, personally. I couldn't handle it. I grew up in Virginia. We had some pretty harsh winters, but lately it's been very mild, but I don't live in Virginia anymore. I lived partially in Virginia, then I moved to Kentucky, now I live in Florida. I've been here for a couple of years. Let's see here. Airborne says, sorry, you might have covered it. I didn't pay attention, but could this area see violent tornadoes? I think I already went over your area, yes. But I can do it again for you. So you are in the level 3 threat for today. You have a 10% chance for tornadoes today. Potential for significant tornadoes does exist, yes. And in terms of damaging winds, we have a 45% chance for damaging wind gusts and a 15% chance out there for hail. So definitely keep an eye on it, my friend. Tabletop says, thanks for helping me get a little calmer for today and tomorrow's risk. Made me a little nervous, but now seeing that it won't be as bad as I thought. Yeah, no, you're good, man. And you're very welcome. Like I mentioned, I'm here for all of you guys. I want to make sure you guys are, weather aware and properly informed. That's what we're here for. Because I want you guys to know what you could expect today. Not saying that everybody will see severe weather in the risk area, because it's nobody. Not everybody will. You got to remember that it's probability based off of how potent the environment, how potent the atmosphere is, overall, right? So, with that, I mean, it's not everybody will get severe weather. Just remember that. But you should definitely monitor it. Watch out for those warnings, because, once those warnings come through, that means that, you are included in the potential or the expectancy, I should say, of severe weather if you're in the warning. Let's see here. Madison, Alabama got a special weather statement, did you? Gotcha. Yeah, right now there's no current severe warnings up here. Yeah, Alabama is pretty calm as of right now. But later on today, though, that will possibly change. We do have central northern Alabama in that level 3 threat for today. So, yeah, the biggest concern today, guys, for severe weather is going to be across the orange here, which, does include portions of like eastern Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, most of Tennessee, Kentucky, little bits and pieces of like southeastern Missouri and like southern Illinois and whatnot. How is West Jefferson, North Carolina looking tonight? Well, let's take a peek, see what's going on here, my friend. Let's see here. Jefferson, North Carolina. All right, so we are in a level 2 threat today, my friend. There is a 2% chance for tornadoes. So the tornado threat is pretty low. Damaging winds, we have a 15% chance for gusty winds and a 5% chance for hail. So yeah, your main concern tonight is going to be the potential for gusty winds within those storms. So we'll have to look out there for that, okay? So that storm in Florence is not going to hit Huntsville. So while Huntsville is in the risk area here today, remember, this is not going to be the only storm that we're going to be seeing here. The storm over in Florence is, the one that's northwest of Florence here, will probably look a lot different by the time it gets near that area here. There is a potential that, Huntsville will not be impacted with this storm. We'll just have to see what happens. Because storms go in and go out all the time. That's just something you need to look at the radar for and keep an eye on it. But it is pretty far away. Now, we do have a little bit of precipitation kind of coming towards Huntsville, but this is nothing at all. Just light rain, basically. Let's see here. Undead says, thanks, man. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. If you have any questions, let me know. We're here for you guys. Glinda says, I'm worried. Don't be worried, Glinda. Like we mentioned, you do have that level 2 threat today, so you should be weather aware, but, don't worry. Try not to worry about it. Just have a way to receive warnings and just go on with your day. And, if you do get a warning, then take action. And once the warning's over, then you're good. But like I mentioned, it's not even confirmed, or sorry, it's not even for sure, I should say, that you'll see severe weather, because not everybody in the risk area will see it. Overall, but the environment's capable of severe weather in the area, yes. Zach wants me to take a look at Dixon, Tennessee. Looking okay. So this area is in the level 3 threat for severe weather, Zach. The scale goes from 1 to 5, and we are in a level 3. So that's a fairly decent risk for severe weather. Now, that does give you a 10% chance for tornadoes. So within 25-mile radius around you, there is a 10% chance of a tornado dropping. Now, there is potential, given that it is the hatch risk area, where the black dashed lines go through. It is possible that we could see some significant tornadoes, potential for tornadoes, possibly EF2 or greater. We can't rule it out. Damaging winds, we do have ourselves a 45% chance out there for damaging wind gusts within the storms, potentially being between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we do have a 15% chance out there for hail, for the possibility between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Does this setup mean that a tornado will happen or no? So collectively, the odds of getting a tornado today in general is very high. But for one specific area, it's still pretty low. I mean, for a given area. Once again, the yellow indicates a 10% chance of a tornado dropping within a 25-mile radius of a given location. So, for example, Jackson, within a 25-mile radius around you, if you live in Jackson, there's a 10% chance of a tornado dropping within that radius of you. Okay. So that's how that works. In terms of, the damaging winds, like I said, it ranges 45% across the pinkish purple color. That's kind of purple. The red indicating a 30%, the yellow indicating a 15%, and the brown indicating a 5% chance. And then, of course, hail today. We do have that 30% hatch risk now for hail. SPC did upgrade this little area here for like western Tennessee, like eastern Arkansas, northwest Mississippi, southeastern Missouri, and a little bit of like western Kentucky and southern Illinois, where we do have that 30% chance overall for hail. We're talking possibly pretty large, maybe 2-3 inches in diameter or larger. So yeah, those areas will have to look out for the potential of large hail. Elsewhere, outside of that hatch risk region here, could see between 1 to 2 inches in diameter. So that's kind of what it looks like. Let's see. Will storms be a little weaker by the time they reach me? They probably will, Glinda. But like I mentioned, just keep an eye on keep an eye out there for, the weather, and because it will evolve as the day goes on, overall. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on it, and if you have any more questions, let me know. Okay, but try not to worry about it. I know you're a little nervous, which I can understand, but it'll be all right. We'll get through it, my friend. We'll get through this. Let's see here. Yeah, Zach, that sounds good. Let's see here. Am I going to be live for Alabama later? Maybe. I plan on doing some live coverage tonight. So by the time we do go live, Alabama, we will probably still be having some storms going on. So I'll probably do some live coverage tonight if it's needed. Yes. I guess specific areas are just more common than others, unfortunately. Yeah, so some areas have a greater probability than others, yes. What's up, Mr. Nerd? Saying, hi, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. What are my concerns? Good to have you here, my friend. So Atlanta, the threat for Atlanta today depends on kind of what side you're on. But for main heart of Atlanta, we have a level 2 threat here for today. So in terms of tornadoes, we have a 5% chance for tornadoes. We have ourselves a 15% chance for gusty winds within the storms, potentially ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And in terms of hail, we do have ourselves a 5% chance. So yeah, the main concern today is going to be that wind threat overall, so keep it out there for that. But yeah, all hazards cannot be ruled out. Let's see here. There's rotation over Dixon, Tennessee right now. Here, let's take a peek at that real quickly. Dixon, Tennessee. Well, there is no warning out here, so let's take a peek at the radar here. To be honest with you, I'm not seeing any rotation going on out here. Yeah, nothing. Well, I mean, if Weather Service believes that it could be a tornadic concern, then they'll issue a warning for it. But I don't see nothing personally. What's up, Destiny? Saying, I just joined. About what time is the hail supposed to start? So it'll start whenever the storms kind of really kick off, which will be kind of later on this afternoon going into the evening. It just depends on where you're at, though, because the timing's a little different for other places. It's not the same for everybody. Let's see here. Glenda says, could you please look at the a little closer for my area, that model you just showed? Yeah, I got you. Let's see here. Let's go and bring up the models here. So you can kind of see here, you're up here in this area of eastern Tennessee. You can see according to the model, the HRRR here, we could get some convection later on this, later on this evening. It looks to be fairly late for the potential that we do have. So, I mean, yeah, honestly, like I mentioned, the odds of you getting severe weather is actually still fairly low. I understand that you're a little worried about it, Glinda, but, you'll get through it, my friend. It'll be all right. Let's see here. So Alabama at the moment is okay. Yeah, so as of right now, I mean, today, later on today, we do have that risk for severe weather, so Alabama does need to be weather aware, but currently there is no warnings in Alabama right now. But we do have some severe storms near the northwestern side of the state. Let's see here. Curtis said, I have anxiety disorders and severe storms interfere with my life. Only time a thunderstorm does not give me anxiety is when the temperatures are in the 50s. That makes sense, my friend. Curtis, one thing I would recommend that you could do is learn how to read radar. Learn how to look out for rotation within a storm using velocity, correlation coefficient to detect debris and stuff. By learning how to read radar between reflectivity, velocity, and correlation coefficient, that's all you really need. It unlocks so much because you'll be able to see what is going on in the storm over you. And you can see if it's rotating. You can see if it contains potential strong winds. You can also see, say if there is rotation, you could see if there is a confirmed tornado on it or not. So, it kind of gives you that peace of mind because you can look at the radar and be like, oh, okay, well, there's no rotation going over me. So I'm not likely as of right now going to get a tornado. Does that make sense? So, it's kind of, it is kind of like, just something that I would really recommend looking into. Also, let's try listening to some music during the storms. Try to flush out the sound of the thunderstorms. But just make sure you're keeping an eye on the warnings though. Tabletop, I doubt it, man. What's up, Evans? Hope you're doing good. Austin says, I'm in Savannah, Tennessee. We had warnings already today. We are looking at noon to 3 p.m. for additional storms to make its way in our area. Let me pull up your region here, Austin. Let's take a look here. Okay, so yeah, we did just get that severe thunderstorm warning that rolled through. Looking at the radar now, it does clear up a little bit, but hopping back over here to the radar for later on today. So once that rolls through, you can see that we build in more convection here later this afternoon, going into the early evening hours. To be precise with the time for the storms, like I said, we can't really do that right now because, of the fact here, that models are not perfect. They give us an idea, but, they're not perfect after all. But yeah, so definitely, definitely keep an eye out there for later on this evening as we could get some more. Let's see here. Evans, if you have a question for me, man, you don't have to say you have a question. Just ask it. It saves you a lot of time. Ghosted says, I'm amazed that you guys can see rotation. All I see is colorful blobs. That's fair. That is fair. But once you learn how to recognize echoes and just signatures, I should say, then it becomes just part of it. And there's also different color tables. Like the one specifically I have right here is very colorful. It is indeed very colorful. I can change it. Let's see, default. Let's do our default velocity. That's the better one, to be honest with you. We're doing our default velocity. It's a little bit more simpler to read. Let's see here. Glenda says, that's what I do. I just go to the basement. It's my headphones playing music, and most of the time, I feel safer. Good. And I'm glad that you found a way to cope with it, Glenda. That's what you got to do, man. Got to find what works best for you. And, like I mentioned too, guys, I mean, even if you're not in the warning, say that there's a storm coming towards you, you're a little nervous about it, and whatnot, and then say there's not even a warning on it, right? If it makes you feel safe, nobody's stopping you from going to your safe spot. You can go to your safe spot as long as you want. That's your choice, I mean, you don't have to go. I mean, obviously, when a warning gets issued, then you need to go to your safe spot. But, even if you're just a little nervous about it, you can just go there throughout the storm, even if it's not severe, And like I mentioned, the best safe spots to be during storms, of course, is basement, storm cellars, for the really big ones. But, even then, if you go into the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home, even if there is no warning, if it makes you feel safer, go ahead. No one's stopping you from doing that. you know, like I said, put on some music, try to distract yourself from the noises of storms. I know a lot of people, you know, don't like the noises, like the loud thunder and whatnot, because, yeah, it can startle you. Trust me. I live in Florida. We have some really loud bangs sometimes, but, you know, yeah, that can be a little scary because of the unknown factor. But if you put in your headphones and, you know, kind of go in the central part of your home, it'll help muffle out some of that sound, which, you know, might make it feel a little bit better. And like I said, if you learn how to read radar on top of it, you can kind of look at the conditions that's currently ongoing, and you can kind of, you know, kind of look and see what is going on in the storm for yourself. You know, that we can say, oh, look, there's rotation over here, but that's going away from me. You're good. So, anyways, that's that. Let's see here. It's helpful to have some distractions. Stay aware, of course. I've noticed more focus on time, the slower day feels. Yeah, exactly. You know, like I said, just find what works for you. You know, find what works for you. I live in a second-story condo built, or sorry, why did I say built? I live in a second-story condo, but has never been damaged from a storm since 1977 or so. I've heard. I got you. Well, hopefully that won't change anytime soon either. Would be very good. Sound is buffering. Is it? It looks like the connection's pretty good on my end. Let's see here. Glenda, that's a great way to look at it. Yep. That is a good way to look at it. And also, another way to look at it is, yes, while you're in the risk for storms, remember, not everybody will see severe weather. And matter of fact, most people in the heaviest of risk areas still won't even see damaging storms. I mean, even on the big days, you know, the odds of still getting that, you know, everybody getting that is, I mean, not everybody's going to get it, you know. Let's see here. Destiny says, I'm on my way to work with Lexington, Tennessee. So concerned how bad it's supposed to get. So I'll go over your probability-wise. So for Lexington, we have a level 3 threat for severe weather, which gives you a 10% chance for tornadoes. So within a 25-mile radius around you, there's a 10% chance of a tornado dropping. Now, given that you are in the hatch risk area here, you know, that black dashed region, it does say that there could be a potentially couple strong tornadoes in the risk area. So, you know, that could be possible. So that's a 10% chance for tornadoes. We have a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts within the storm, potentially ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And in terms of hail, we have a 15% chance out there for hail, ranging the possibility here between 1 and 2 inches in diameter here overall. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at there, my friend. That is kind of the overall probability here. Let's see here. Shannon says, do I think Alabama will have problems today? So, yeah, I mean, a lot of Alabama is in the risk here. You can see especially a lot of the central northern side of the state. We do have a lot of, you know, the enhanced risk to cover those areas here. So, yeah, I mean, Alabama definitely could be dealing with some problems today regarding severe weather collectively. So, you know, if you're in Alabama, you know, excluding really the southern side, southern Alabama towards like Mobile and whatnot, it's, you know, pretty good. You know, Dothan, some of those regions out there in the far south side are fine, but it's more for the areas in the central and northern side of the state that needs to be weather aware today in Alabama. So, yeah, I mean, if you live in Alabama, I would, or in these regions, I would definitely be monitoring the weather throughout today. And, you know, if there is warnings that do get issued, you know, just take action. And what I want you guys to do now is figure out where you would go if a warning is issued, right? So nowhere to go. You know, if you have a storm shelter, if you have a basement, there you go. That's where you want to go. But if not, then go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home if a warning is issued there. And, you know, whenever it comes to it, I mean, if you're in a trailer, the best bet would be to, you know, find a sturdier structure if you're in a tornado warning, you know, because trailers, unfortunately, don't provide much protection from severe weather. Let's see here. Shannon says, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Of course. And like I said, guys, you know, we're here for you. If y'all have any questions, if you want me to take a look at your area, you know, feel free to let us know. And, you know, like I mentioned, guys, if you're new to the channel, consider leaving a like and, you know, hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Let's see here. Mr. Nerd wants to know about him. He's in the enhanced risk today, I think. Yeah, that level 3 threat in Eastern KY. Let's see, I'm north of Birmingham, so I'll be watching. Sounds good, Shannon. Yeah, you definitely, I would keep an eye out there for it. I mean, given that you're in that level 3 threat, severe weather will be possible. What's up, Ice Cream saying, what time for storms for Florence, Alabama? So given the estimate here from the HRRR, we're going to go to the 14 UTC run. So it does show just a bunch of scattered convection, throughout early this afternoon. The probabilities will increase as we work away into the evening. You can see as we approach away until later this evening, we do have a lot of heavier storm activity rolling into the regions here. So yeah, the probability, we're going to possibly see a couple storms throughout the afternoon, but the probability is really going to increase as we work our way into the evening, okay? Is there a chance I go into the enhanced still? I don't think you will, but, I wouldn't completely rule it out. The odds of that is pretty low, though, because the environment rapidly does, go down in potency the further east you go. So, for example, the atmosphere is very potent for a lot of these areas here, and the further east you go, the more it, goes down. Those ingredients do go down. In terms of moisture, instability, and wind shear. It's not as strong for your area as it is for the bigger areas here overall. So, can I please look at Jackson, Tennessee, around 1 to 3 p.m.? Yes. So Jackson, according to the HRRR, so anywhere between 1 to 3. So this is 1 p.m. Eastern time. So this would actually be, you're in Central time, so this would be noon. Okay, so this is 1 p.m. your time, 2, 3. So it kind of looks like between 1 and 3, HRRR, the latest run, does show some storms, starting to fire off here, in which that will increase in intensity and, coverage as we work our way into the evening here overall. So, that will increase with time. More of the heavier threat's going to be for later in the evening there. What app am I using? WeatherWise. This one's called Aguacero, though. Which if you guys are interested in this program, it is, I can get you 20% off your first month. It is Aguacero, AGUACEROWX.com. And you can use code NWW20 for 20% off your first month. And you can get the base subscription, which is, really not that much. But yeah, super customizable, and, you can change the color tables however you want. If you're interested in looking at the weather models yourself, that's how you can do that. Once again, NWW20, AguaceroWX.com. Let's see, I was born and raised in Florida. Thunder puts me to sleep. Yeah, that's fair. It is very relaxing. For me, it's the rain, the nice steady rain. But, what wakes me up is the loud bangs of thunder that we get sometimes. Dude, that one week a couple weeks ago where we started having storms for once, we had a storm that was right over us, and it was like lightning all around us, and it was so loud, and it woke me up. Anyways, but yeah. So that's that. And like I mentioned, guys, if you guys are new here and you're not really sure how this works, like I mentioned, today we do have an active threat for severe weather, which is why we're live. And if you're curious to know if your area is in the risk for severe weather, put down your zip code, and I'll take your zip code, I'll put it in here, and I'll let you know what kind of risk you're in from the Storm Prediction Center, just to kind of let you know what you're in for today. Like I said, we're here to help. We're here to make sure that you guys are staying weather aware and prepared. We're wanting to help you guys out, and just make sure that you guys are, staying safe out there. Let's see here. Destiny says, thank you for watching and explaining the weather in our areas. Yeah, no problem. Destiny, you're very, very welcome. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really glad to help you guys out. And, of course, anytime. And, like I said, if y'all have any questions regarding the weather, specific area for the weather, hey, I'm here for you. I will always be here for you guys. Taking a peek at the instability here, back over to the models here. So this is the fuel for those storms. You can see it does build in. You can see that frontal boundary kind of pushing all of that instability out of the region there. So that's your cold front. Let's see. Ponderosa says, thanks for the coverage. Yeah, of course. You guys are very welcome. Y'all don't got to thank me for it. That's what I'm here for, guys. Mr. Nerd wants me to take a look at a zip code. I got you, my friend. Let's see what you're in for today. Let's see here. Oh, I wasn't even typing. Hold Why is it? Hold on a minute. Is my numpad not working? Here, let's just do it this way. Here we go. Alrighty, my friend. You are in the level 3 threat here for today. Okay, so yeah, you do have that. You do have a decent risk for severe weather. You have a 5% chance for tornadoes. You got a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour within the storm being possible. And in terms of hail, we have a 5% chance for hail regarding the possibility here between 1 and 2 inches in diameter being possible. Let's see here. How is Huntsville looking? So Huntsville is in level 3 threat here as well. We do have a 10% significant tornado risk here overall. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 45% chance for damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour within the storm. You know, it's a pretty decent shot for winds. And then a 15% chance for hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. Ponderosa, is that the zip code for Huntsville, I'm assuming? Okay. How much CAPE is in my area? It didn't look like much. So, let's see here. Actually, I'm going to bring up the 12-zulu run here. Let's go back to the extended range here. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was explaining to you, is that the environment is more potent the further west you go. I mean, you can see that there's a lot more instability, a lot more fuel for these storms further west, as then for your area. There's not as much fuel. You know, there's not as much ingredients available. That's why your threat's a little bit weaker as comparing to the other areas further west. Does that make sense? So that's that. And that's what I'm trying to say, that, you know, your risk is not as potent, not as significant as some of these other people. What's up, White Wolf? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Renita says, I just want to chat to know Andrew helped save my life during a very bad storm. I really appreciate what he says about the weather. Renita, I'm very glad I could help you with that. You know, that makes me feel good that I can help you guys out in that way. And, you know, I'm really glad to be able to be here to help with you guys. I'm very thankful for it. And you know what? Without you guys, I couldn't do this, man. You know, all of your guys' continuous support, including yours, Renita, from all of your support that you've given me on the channel, I really appreciate it. And, you know, you really do help keep me going. And I just want to say thank you to you for your contribution, you know, to the channel and everything. And for the people who donate and everything, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because, you know, you guys help make this possible. You know, like I said, I couldn't do it without you all. So very, very thankful. Let's see here. White Wolf wants me to take a look at the zip code. Just got very heavy rain, but it was coming straight down. Okay, let's take a peek here at your area. Let's see what we got going on here for you. Let's see. You, my friend. Okay. Oh, yeah. So we do have a couple lines going through the Nashville area right now. Currently not severe. Yeah, we did have a couple warnings on the southern tail of it, but those have been canceled ever since. Right now we have no warnings there. So yeah, just kind of a strong storm. Just remain indoors away from windows, and you should be good. Remember though, this is not the only part of the storm that you're going to be getting today. You can see as we work way down in time, there's that line we're looking at. Later on in time, we could see a lot more convection later on this evening. So think of that as the appetizer before the entree. It's the appetizers. So yeah, that's that. Nothing severe out of those ones though. Let's see here. Andrew helps me out with my repeated questions. Thank you. Thankful for you, dude. Yeah, no problem, man. Glad to help out. Glenda says, thank you so much, Andrew. I'm sorry for asking so much. No, you're good. And I understand, it is a little scary sometimes, which I get. But like I said, guys, y'all don't have to thank me. It's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys. Yeah, I care about y'all, every single one of you. Let's see. Jesus is God says, thank you so much for what you do. Yeah, of course. What is the chance for tornadoes in northeast Louisiana today? Okay, so northeastern Louisiana, we do have ourselves so it ranges in probability. So for Monroe area, it's a level 1 tornado threat, which is a 2% chance for tornadoes. Same thing for Bastrop, Winnsboro, 2% chance. Now for areas out by like Lake Providence and Epps and Tallulah, maybe. That's a 5% chance. So yeah, the probability here is in colors. 2% chance across the green, 5% chance across the brown, and a 10% chance across the yellow here. Now, the areas that's in the yellow and in this dashed area here, that's where the potential for significant tornadoes exists, where the potential of tornadoes EF2 or greater. So, hey, you know what? And asking many questions is fine, you know? It's totally fine, and I'm glad that you guys are, just trying to stay weather aware and everything. You know, it's good. I'm glad to see you guys taking it seriously, because there's a lot of people out there who also don't take it seriously when they need to, and sometimes they can get caught in the weather, you know. And by you guys staying weather aware and prepared, it makes you guys way ahead of those people that aren't. So, of course, we're here for you guys. But like I mentioned, guys, if y'all have any questions, hey, don't hesitate to ask. I just want to skip the entree if that was the appetizer. That's funny, man. Let's see here. Glenda says, like in other chats, I asked twice and they told me to stop spamming. That's fair. That's fair. But, I'm here for you, though. Guana says, I'm getting real tired of these nearly full week. Let's see. Nearly 4 full week severe weather events. Why do conditions have to be so favorable nearly every day? Sometimes it's just the time of the year we're in, unfortunately. Unfortunately. But hopefully that'll dwindle down soon. I hope so. Let's see here. Jesus God said just subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And you know what? If you guys help subscribe and everything like that, not only would you be weather aware, but also it'll help YouTube push out our content more too, which, could help us reach more people and help out more people in general. So anyways, but thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Crow says, do I think that Nashville will see any tornadoes? So Nashville is in a decent tornado risk, although the odds of Nashville specifically seeing a tornado is still fairly low. So for example, say you live in the heart of Nashville, right? So within a 25-mile radius around you, there is a 10% chance here overall for the possibility of, tornadoes occurring. So there is that potential overall for tornadic activity, but the odds of, that occurring still is very low, even if you're in the 10%. But, so keep an eye on it, but don't ignore it. And also just know that the odds are pretty low still, even in the 10%. But collectively, as the whole area here, the odds of getting a tornado is pretty high for, at least somebody in the risk area. But for one specific area, it's still pretty low. Just curious why my area isn't getting the big risk this time. Lack of ingredients, essentially. So, like we were looking at in the models here, as we work our way down in time here, we start to lose our wind shear. We start to lose a lot of our instability and fuel for those storms. So, yeah, basically the ingredients start to kind of run thin as we approach our way towards your area. Glenda says, literally every single time here in Northeast Tennessee, I get so scared because of a storm, and then they come by and they're never that bad because they tend to break up a bit before they hit me. Yeah, and you know what? That's good, and not good that you're scared of them, which you shouldn't be. I mean, I get they're a little scary sometimes, but hey, you know what, Glenda? Just know that you'll get through it. You'll get through it, and it'll all be okay. And just know you have me. I'm here for you if you need help. And like I mentioned, y'all, we also have like Discord server too. So if you're worried about a specific storm or something, hey, I don't mind if you reach out to me and ask me, and I'll be more than happy to check for you. Even in our Discord. I think it's in our description here. I could be wrong, but I don't remember if I put it in there now. Mr. Nerd says, I'm out of here. Thanks for the help, Andrew. Yeah, no problem, man. Of course, anytime. What's up, Kenny? Saying, what's the outlook for Brazelton, Georgia? Is that how you say that? I got you, my friend. Let's go ahead and bring up the area here. We'll take a peek at your area, see what we're in for. Okay, so today we have a level 2 threat for severe weather. We have a 2% chance for tornadoes, which is a very low risk overall for tornadic activity. The green's a 2%, the brown's a 5%, but you're in the 2. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 15% chance for gusty winds for the potential of winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we have a 5% chance for hail. So the main concern today is going to be the potential for gusty winds within the storms, but we can't rule out all types of severe weather today. But, the odds of, you getting severe weather is actually pretty low. But, just be weather aware today, okay? Hopefully that helps. And once again, everybody, by the way, if you could, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. You're welcome, Kenny. No problem. I'm glad to help. If you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions at all, I'm here for you. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want me to take a look at an area, you want me to look at the timing or whatnot, hey, you know what? We're here. We're here to help. So like we mentioned here, a lot of the big activity is going to be starting to pop off here later on this evening. This morning, we're getting ready to go into the afternoon, but, we've been seeing a little bit of convection popping off across like Tennessee and whatnot. A lot of the big stuff, though, is going to start firing off later on this evening, once, the sun's been out for a bit, heating up the surface and stuff like that. So let's see here. Shocker wants me to take a look at Knoxville, Tennessee. I got you, my friend. So Knoxville's in the level 3 threat as well today. We do have ourselves a 10% chance for tornadoes. This is a non-significant risk, though. You're outside of the dashed area here, which, we're not expecting any significant tornadoes out here, but tornadoes in general will be possible. So 10% chance of that. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts here, between 60 and 70 miles an hour within the storm. And then lastly, we have ourselves a 15% chance for hail, regarding the potential for hail, essentially, 1 to 2 inches in diameter here overall. So that is that. Let's see here. Glenda says, I think I'm going to head out. Thank you so much for what you do, Andrew. You're the only one who actually answers me, and I really appreciate you. No problem, Glenda. You're very welcome. Let's see here. What's up, Jeff? Hope you're doing good. Saying, how is Memphis going to be looking like later? Okay, so Memphis, we do have a level 3 threat, so we definitely need to be weather aware. We have a 10% chance tornado risk, so, within a 25-mile radius around you, there's a 10% chance of a tornado dropping. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 30% chance for gusty winds, potentially ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And in terms of hail, we also do have a 30% chance for hail, which is a hatch risk here for potential large hail as well, possibly between 2-3 inches in diameter or even greater. In some cases, could be possible. So, yeah, definitely look out there for that. Let's see here. Christina says, liked and subscribed. Thanks. Or sorry, liked and subscribed. I've read something else. Liked and subscribed. Severe weather terrifies me. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, thank you, Christina, for subscribing. I really appreciate that, my friend. It's very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much. All right, Rail fan, I got you. You want me to take a look at Buford? Is it Buford? Oh, it's let's say Buford. Buford, right? Oh, jeez. All right, my friend, you're in a level 2 threat for severe weather today. You have a 5% chance for tornadoes. You have a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts and a 5% chance for hail overall. White Wolf says, thanks, Andrew, you rock. I'll check back later on today. Sounds good, my friend. And you're very welcome. No problem. You guys are very welcome. What's up, Kayla? Saying, hey, Andrew, it's getting crazy windy in Shelbyville, Indiana. Do I think we'll get it really bad? Let me look and see what we're in for. So we are in the level 2 today. We have a 5% tornado risk here, a 15% wind risk here, oops, and a 15% hail risk here as well. Taking a look at the radar now. Let's see what we got going on here. We have a little bit of showers in the area, a little bit of storm activity to your west. Nothing really big going on right now, nothing concerning at the moment. Taking a peek at the future radar, though, but yeah, you can kind of see as we approach our way into the evening, we do start to develop more cellular or more multicellular thunderstorm activity, which, by the later evening, we could be dealing with some potentially strong to severe storms overall. So, yeah, so we'll definitely look out there for that. And like we mentioned here, if if you guys have any, or if you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. What's up, Noah? Hope you're doing good, my friend. John says, thankfully Chicago's in the thunderstorm. Yeah, Chicago does make it into that TSTM risk here, or just the general thunderstorm risk. So that's what the light green represents, guys, for the people who's wondering. The light green, it represents a thunderstorm risk, so not expected to be severe weather, but just a couple of thunderstorms can't be ruled out. The severe weather risk starts at the dark green, which is the marginal level 1 out of 5 threat. Level 2, yellow. Level 3, orange, which is the enhanced risk in the orange. Ghosted says, I know the storms have been bad lately, but I'm seriously jealous of everyone getting storms. Me too, Ghosted. We need some storms. Not the bad ones, but, we need at least the rain from them. Yeah. Noah says, what's Indianapolis? So Indianapolis, we have a level 2 threat for severe weather today. That is a 5% chance for tornadoes. This is a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts and a 15% chance for hail. Let's see here. Let's see here. What's up, ATR? Saying, what about, is that Lauren, South Carolina? See, we got upgraded from last night. Let me look, my friend. Let's see what we got going on here. Lauren, South Carolina. All right. So we are at a level 2 threat, my friend. That is a... actually, you're just outside of that tornado risk here. We do have ourselves a 15% wind risk here and a 5% hail risk. So, yeah, just look out for mostly gusty winds, maybe some small hail possible today overall. Chris, my man, coming in with a $10 super chat, dude. Thank you so much, Chris. That's very sweet of you, man. Thank you, dude. That's really, really nice. Huge shout out goes to you, Chris. If there's anything I can do to help you, man, let me know. Y'all in chat, if you could give Chris a big thank you for the support, I would really appreciate that. Chris, thank you so much for the help. That's really, really sweet of you. Big thank you, Chris. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a like for that for you as well, my friend. Thank you once again, man. I could never thank you enough. I appreciate it. Praying Farm says, what about Chattanooga, Tennessee? So Chattanooga, we have a level 3 threat out here, my friend. So given the tornado risk, we have a 10% chance for tornadoes. So you're in the hatch risk area, which gives potential for a couple strong tornadoes in the region. So it is possible. When it comes to damaging wind gusts, we have a 45% chance out there for damaging wind gusts regarding the potential for gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour. As of right now, it's not a hatched risk for damaging wind, so we're not expecting any super excessive wind gusts, but we are talking a big potential for wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour, which is a 45% chance. Now, lastly, in terms of hail, we have a 15% chance out there for the hail possibility there. So hail will be ranging between 1 to 2 inches in diameter overall. So that's kind of what we're looking out there for. What's up, Dirty Dan? Saying, how is Riceville, Tennessee looking tonight? Well, let's take a peek here. Let's see what we got going on. So you're actually not far from where we just looked at. So yeah, you're also in the level 3 threat overall. You are actually in the 10% non-significant tornado risk here. So we're not expecting any significant tornadoes, but still have a decent shot for tornadic activity. I mean, it's a 10% chance, which, the odds of you getting it's pretty darn low. So yeah, 10% chance for tornadoes within a 25-mile radius around you. Damaging winds, we have a 45% chance for gusty winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour within the storm. And lastly, a 15% chance for hail regarding the potential between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So that is that. Let's see here. Yeah, once again, Chris, thank you so much, my friend. That's very sweet of you, dude. I really appreciate that. Praying Farm says, thanks for everything you do. Of course, you're very welcome. You guys don't got to thank me. If anything, I should thank you for help making this possible, guys. So thank you, y'all. I really appreciate it. What's up, Machine? Hope you're doing good. Saying super concerned about tornadoes tonight here in Decatur, Alabama. Let's see. What risk are you in here? Here, let's take a peek at that. Decatur, Alabama. Okay, yeah, you are in that enhanced risk here, which that is that 10% hatch risk for tornadoes. Okay, yeah. So keep an eye on it, my friend. Just remember, the odds of you getting a tornado is still very low, despite you being in that 10% risk area. I'm not saying you should ignore it, which you definitely shouldn't ignore it. But just know that the odds aren't as likely as you probably think they are for seeing tornadoes. I mean, given the collective area of seeing a tornado, yes, the odds of seeing a tornado in this whole area is very likely, but for you specifically to see a tornado and for it to go over you is very unlikely. So, anyways, Ghosted, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, my friend. That's really sweet of you, saying you rock. Thank you for being awesome. Ghosted, thank you for being awesome. I really appreciate that. That is really, really sweet. Guys, can you leave Ghosted a big thank you as well? That would be much appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Ghosted, thank you for the 2. I appreciate it. It's very, very sweet of you, my friend. Let's see here. Shannon says the Nashville storm has rotation. Does it? Here, let's take a peek here at Nashville. We'll hop back to our velocity. So where are you looking at? I mean, I'm not really seeing any really rotation going on here. Is this out of... Oh, yeah, this radar is... Oh, this is a terminal radar, I think. Or an experimental radar. Look how much different the resolution is on this radar as compared to the normal WSR 88Ds, the normal ones from the Weather Service. If it does go warned, then we'll let you know, okay? But right now, it's not warned for anything. I didn't see nothing personally. Dirty Dan says, last Friday we did get a tornado warning, but no tornado hit us. Good. I'm glad to see that you didn't get hit. That is definitely good. Glenda says, I thought I was out, but I realized I have nothing else to do. That is a mood. That is such a mood. Oh, really? Shannon, it is? Yeah, I didn't... Is it southwest of Nashville? How far away is it from Nashville? I mean, because like looking at the radar now, velocity, I'm not seeing any rotation going on right now. If it does, like I said, if it does go tornado warned, then we'll let you know. But Weather Service currently doesn't even have anything out on it right now. I mean, no severe thunderstorm warnings on the line or anything like that right now. Southwest, I got you. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'll keep an eye on the region. I mean, like I mentioned, though, if it does go warned, we'll tell you. But right now, there's no. I mean, there's currently no warnings right now. Let's see here. Oh, whoa, hold on a minute. What is this? Ooh, we got ourselves a tropical disturbance here. Has a 20% chance probability of developing. An area of low pressure could form by the weekend into early next week, several hundred miles south of the southern coast of Mexico. Conditions appear favorable for some development of the system, thereafter, while it moves west to northwestward at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Formation chance of, low 0% in the next 48 hours. Formation chance in the next 7 days, 20%. So the odds are still pretty low. Hasn't developed yet. It must be model-based. Here, let's take a peek at the models real quickly. Let's work our way to the EPAC, Eastern Pacific. Where is it? There you are. Can you all see that okay? Here, let's adjust that a little bit. So maybe you can see it a little bit better. Let's see what GFS shows. We'll go to the 06. Zulu run. Oh, whoa, hey, buddy. Oh, look at that. So the 06 GFS shows hurricane developing. What about Euro? Does Euro talk about it? Let's go 0 Zulu Euro. Long range. Oh, yeah, look at that, man. Oh, yeah. Dang. So both Euro and the GFS support it. Yeah, it looks like we're possibly going to start to see our first system develop here. What about the Atlantic? I'm curious real quickly to take a peek at the Atlantic. I don't think we have anything going on in the Atlantic. I think it's still pretty quiet. Nothing in reasonable time frame. GFS, 06 Zulu. Yeah, Atlantic still seems pretty quiet, but That Pacific sliding up a little bit, it looks like. Very interesting. Possibility, ATR. Dirty Dan, the odds of that are possible. So just make sure you look out for it, given that you are in that risk for that concern. ATR says, how are the models for South Carolina? Yesterday, the models were favoring the line breaking apart before reaching upstate South Carolina. I'm wondering why the SPC kept a slight risk for me. So let's take a peek at the HRRR, the 12 Zulu. So, you know, given the risk here overall, you can kind of see we do have a couple of storms developing here later on this evening. Then we have the kind of massive storms kind of rolling through, you know, potential of which a couple of those still could be severe. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like anything super crazy wise. I mean, you definitely should monitor the weather. Looking at the ingredients, though, I mean, there is definitely going to be some instability for storm activity. You know, the fuel for those storms is in place. Pulling up our mid-level jet stream here, too, for that given hour, which is later on this evening. You can see that our mid-level wind shear is about 45 knots to the northeast. And our lower level wind shear here, whenever that loads, is you know, about 15 knots kind of to the northeast. So, I mean, we do have some wind shear, some instability, and I'm sure we definitely have the moisture too for these storms here, which we'll take a peek at the dew points real quick. But, you know, the ingredients are in place. That's probably why, yeah, kind of mid-upper 60 dew points. Really good moisture supply. So, yeah, the reason they have you in there is because the ingredients are still in place for severe weather overall. So that's kind of why they have that for you still. Let's see here. We'll see, Ghosted. It depends. What's up, Polly? Hope you're doing good. Sassy says, what about Fayetteville, Tennessee? I got you, my friend. Let's see here. I'll take a peek at that area real quickly. Alrighty. So you, my friend, regarding the outlook for today, we do have that level 3 severe weather threat today. You're in the enhanced risk here overall. You do have a 10% chance for tornadoes. So within a 25-mile radius around you, there's a 10% chance of a tornado dropping. And there is that significant concern, so we cannot rule out potentially strong tornadoes either. We do have a whopping 45% chance for damaging wind gusts here between 60 and 70 mile an hour within the storm here, you know, being possible. And then, of course, we do have ourselves a 15% hail risk here as well for the possibility of hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So, yeah, we definitely should keep an eye out there for that, my friend. I mean, you are in the risk area, so, you know, heads up to you. What time will it be in upstate South Carolina? Later this evening. There isn't going to be no specific time because, you know, looking at the models, you can't be specific on timing like that all the time. So just I like to go by time frame rather than specific time. But it'll be later this evening overall. Let's see here. Am I going live tonight? Possibly. If it warrants, if there is still a lot of crazy weather late tonight, then yeah, I'll probably go live. Let's see here. What's up, Vincent? Hope you're doing good. Saying, hey, bud, just checking in from Madison, Mississippi this evening. Wife and kids are home, and I'm out of town. I gotcha. Let me take a peek here. See what we got going on for Madison, Mississippi. Hope you're doing good, my friend. So they are in the level 2 threat for today. So they're not quite in the heaviest of it, but they're not in the lowest. So they're in the middle threat for today. They have a 5% chance for tornadoes. So within a 25-mile radius around you, there's a 5% chance of a tornado dropping. So, you know, the odds are pretty low. We're not expecting any significant tornadoes out there either. So even if we did get tornadoes, they would likely remain weak and relatively brief as well. We have a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts here within the storms, possibly getting between 60 and 70 miles an hour. 15% chance, pretty low. And also a 15% chance for hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So that is that. Let's see here. What's up, Vienna? I don't know if I already said hi to you or not. ATR says, you're my favorite weather guy on YouTube. Been watching since 2023. Pretty sure. Can't remember I found you. Thank you so much, ATR. I really appreciate that, my friend. I really appreciate it. You're welcome, Sassy. No problem. Machine says, is that 10% out of 100? So SPC does not have 100% tornado risk. It doesn't go up that high. But yeah, I mean, it is essentially out of 100, yes. But, there is no 100% tornado risk. But yes, so basically the way that works, Machine, is that within a 25-mile radius around you, there is a 10% chance of a tornado dropping within that radius. Does that make sense? So within 25 miles around you, there's a 10% chance, a 1 in 10 shot of a tornado dropping in that area. Now, given the fact that it was a significant threat for your region, the potential for EF2 or greater tornadoes, we cannot rule out the potential for strong tornadoes. But, if you think about it from the perspective of your specific home and for your specific area, the odds of you getting a tornado is very low still. So, it's a little confusing how it works, but yeah. Are multicellular storms the most significant? No. Single cellular supercells are the most significant. Multicellular ones like to steal a lot of energy from each other, which can sometimes be less potent. Let's see here. Awesome. Thank you, new subscriber. Thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. I now call Ohio Nohio. When's the new SPC update? I am not too sure. Let's see, SPC. We'll go ahead and bring up the thing real quickly. So if you go to the Storm Prediction Center's page and you scroll down to the bottom, it'll show up. But for some reason, it's not want to load. Renita coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, please go live, Andrew. It probably would make us feel a little better. Only if you can, of course. Yeah, we'll probably go live later tonight. Like I said, if conditions warrant, we will, go live again for you tonight. All right, so the update is going to be here actually within 15 minutes. So we should be getting our new SPC outlook pretty soon. So we'll definitely be here for that. We'll be here to look at the new update. So yeah, they're getting ready to update our outlook here. We'll see if they do anything or pull any fast moves. Let's see here. O'Cannon says, how is Central Illinois looking for later? So Central Illinois does have a decent risk for severe weather. A lot of the central side of the state has a level 2 slight risk here for severe weather potential. So tornado probability, we have a 5% chance across the brown and a 2% chance here across the green. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 15% chance out there for damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we do have a 15% chance here between hail 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So 15% chance across the yellow, 5% chance here across the brown. Once again, Renita, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it, my friend. Red Rum says, how is Danville, Kentucky? I can't get my radar app used to load. Yeah, I got you. Let's take a look here at your region, my friend. I'll let you know what you're in for. Alrighty, so you are in the level 3 enhanced risk for today. So you do have a threat for severe weather. That does give you a 10% chance for tornadoes, but given the fact that you're not in the black dashed area, means that you're not in the significant tornado threat. So if we did get tornadic activity, it would likely remain on the lower scale overall. So 10% chance for tornadoes. We do have ourselves, though, a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts here for the potential of gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then lastly, we do also have a 15% chance for hail regarding the potential here of hail 1 to 2 inches in diameter possible. So that is that. You see I got cod? Oh yeah, I do. I always gotta have cod open. Last 4 events have completely let's see here, right out of the Richmond area. Gotcha. Well, hopefully you won't see anything. Let me actually take a peek for Richmond, Indiana for you, my friend. Let's see what we got going on here. So you're in the level 2 threat today. So the odds of you getting severe weather is pretty low. You do have a 2% chance for tornadoes, 5% chance for gusty winds, and 5% chance for hail overall. So yeah, you do have a risk, but the odds are pretty low of you getting anything. Let's see here. Mayros says, hi, thank you. What's up? You're very welcome, my friend. Let's see. Vienna says I'm not in the risk, but my cousin is. Gotcha. So let your cousin know that they're in the risk for severe weather. Dirty Dan says stay up for storms like this so that I don't have so I don't get woke up to a warning. That's good. So make sure that you have a way to receive warnings too. I mean, if you do end up going to sleep, just make sure you have a way to wake you up. Like for example, I would recommend getting a weather radio because they will scream at you if there's a warning in your area. So they could be very, very useful, especially if you're a deep sleeper too. It'll really wake you up. John says, have a good day. You too, my friend. Take care. But yeah, we should be getting that new update here pretty soon from SPC. Let's update this real quickly. So we'll be getting that here in about 12-ish minutes, probably. It's scheduled by 16:30 Zulu. It is currently 16:18 Zulu. So we'll see if I don't know if they're going to pull a moderate or not. I hope not, dude. If they make that wind risk hatched, I believe that would make it a moderate risk, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if they're going to do it or not, though. We'll see. I mean, D-Cape is pretty high. We do have a lot of downdraft energy, at least according to models. Usually I have my phone on full volume and vibrate, so it's scared. Oh, I got you. Well, at least you have a way to get notified. Mayra, is that how you say your name, Mayra? I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I'm not good with names. Saying I'm in Paducah, Kentucky. I'm in the severe weather. Yeah, so Paducah is in the level 3 threat. We do have that 10% non-significant tornado risk here. So potential 4 tornadoes, but you're not in the significant risk though. You're not in that. You're not in the potential for EF2 or greater. Essentially, the odds of that's very low. We do have a 30% wind concern. So if you do get storms, there's a 30% chance of them containing the potential of 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts within them. And then lastly, we do have ourselves a 30% chance for hail. Now, it is a significant risk for hail, given the potential here that we could see some hail, essentially, pretty large, maybe 2-3 inches in diameter. We can't rule that out completely. So that is that. Downdrafts are wicked. Yeah, they can be. They really can be. And, given the models and everything, like if we take a peek here at some of the models, we'll just grab a random sounding here. Our downdraft energy here. Let's see. I'm trying to get used to this QT chart that this program has. Yeah, this is right around 750 joules per kilogram. There's been some soundings that I pulled here yesterday that suggested like over 1,200 joules per kilogram of downdraft or D-Cape, downwards Cape. Which really could support some strong downbursts, especially if you're in an area with strong lower level wind shear. Could really amplify those wind gusts, which it's got me wondering if they'll pull a significant wind risk with this next update. I really wouldn't be surprised if they did, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Red Rum says, hopefully we'll get like we did the other day, just strong storms, and then moves on. Thanks a lot for letting me know. Yeah, of course, no problem. Thank you for clarifying that. It's been crazy this year. Yeah, you ain't kidding, my friend. You ain't kidding, and you're very welcome. You're very welcome. If you have any questions, like I said, guys, don't hesitate to ask. We're here for you guys. I'm here to help y'all. SWS says, how is Elizabethton, Tennessee looking for today? Let's take a peek here. I know a lot of Tennessee's in that enhanced risk here. And you're not. You're actually in a level 2 threat today, my friend. So you got a 5% chance for tornadoes. So that's, relatively low in risk, but 5% chance for tornadoes. You got a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then lastly, we do have ourselves a 5% chance for hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. What's the time for these storms in Riceville? Here, let's go ahead and pull this up. Actually, let me first of all find where Riceville, Tennessee's at. So you are in the southeastern side. All right. So given the models, there is no specific time, but it does look like it's going to be a relatively late event. Throughout the afternoon, there's not that much going on. I mean, we could get a couple of showers, maybe a couple of, thunderstorms or whatnot, but the big stuff isn't supposed to roll through until like later this evening, potentially after sunset, regarding the storms. And then it should be out by pretty much mid-morning tomorrow. So, there is no specific time, because models, they're not that good, but, they're not that perfect. I mean, sometimes they're good with timing, but other times they're not. And, I don't like to look at the specifics. I like to give it a range, which I'm just saying later this evening is when you're most likely going to see that activity. What's up, Calvin? Hope you're doing good, my friend. How is Knoxville? So Knoxville is inside of that, I believe, the level 3 threat as well, right on the edge of it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Knoxville is in that level 3 severe weather threat. That is a 10% chance for tornadoes, non-significant risk. So we're not expecting any significant tornadic activity, but 10% chance for tornadoes. We have a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour, and a 15% risk out there for hail, regarding hail size between 1 and 2 inches in diameter being possible. So that is that. SWS says, thank you, no problem. Huckleberry says, wish that rain could be sent to Pensacola. I agree. I need it here in Polk County. It's so dry, dude. Oh, it's been hot, too. It's been crazy hot. It's been like upper 90s. It's been smoldering lately. Yep, we're in our heat season once again. Ice Cream wants me to look at the timing for the zip code. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome, Dirty Dan, no problem. Is there a chance for storms in Houston, Texas, where I live? I'll look at that here in 1 second. Actually, no, Houston's not in the risk here today for severe weather. We do have a potential for some thunderstorms, but nothing severe. Okay, so timing for Florence area. So it looks like we're going to be getting those storms here early this afternoon. This kind of suggests here between like 12 and 2 p.m. We could see some storms rolling through the region here, and that's going to continue throughout the evening, too. It does kind of look like we're going to have multiple rounds of storms, and not just kind of a one-hit-done type of event, but more of like, multiple rounds of storms kind of rolling through here. So, definitely keep an eye on it. We'll definitely be monitoring it. Like I said, if it requires coverage late tonight, I might go live for you guys, like late tonight. To cover some of the storms out by like Alabama and Georgia and whatnot. The main part of today, I'm probably not going to cover. There's going to be a lot of other people covering that. But we will be covering probably pretty late tonight, so that I'll help you guys out with that. Because, we do need nighttime coverage because, of course, it's nighttime and, there's not as many people covering and there still is severe weather potential. So, it's good that we have somebody at nighttime. So, yeah, think of me as the night shift guy. So, if you guys could consider subscribing, that would be greatly appreciated. And that way you guys can stay weather aware out there. All right. Let's see here. What's up, Frankie? Hope you're doing good, man. Watching from Live Oak. Good to have you here, dude. Hope you're doing good. Calvin says it's a relief. Let's see that I avoid bending the risk for severe weather cause damage to houses. Devastating. It can be, Calvin. It can. But yeah, you're good, my friend. Yeah, up in Houston, we do have a general thunderstorm risk out in Houston, which just means a couple of booms of thunder possible. But yeah, nothing severe is expected here. Tomorrow, same thing, potential for a few booms of thunder, nothing big. Even for Thursday too. Yeah, next 3 days there is a thunderstorm potential, but nothing big. But I am very happy to tell you guys, after today, the severe weather threat does seem to dwindle down a bit. Like, for example, today we have that enhanced risk here. Tomorrow we have a marginal risk across the mid-Atlantic and the southeastern U.S. coast. And then, of course, actually for Thursday, look at Thursday's little blob. Just a little marginal here. So, yeah, as of right now, Thursday's should be pretty calm. Nothing big. So we should be entering a calmer period, thankfully, for now. Yeah, today's really the last big day, I should say. Let's see here. Do I think that this is the last big severe storm for May? You never know. Stuff can pop out of the blue. And really the accuracy of only looking about like a week out is what I typically like to look. To be honest, I really don't like looking more than 5 days because of how much things can change, between that time. So, I wouldn't say yes, but I wouldn't say no either. Really, to be honest with you, we don't know. We really don't know if there is or not. We'll see. We'll see, though. But nothing big is on the works as of right now, I don't think. Let me confirm this here with SPC real fast. I don't think we have anything in the extended range. I did check earlier. I didn't see anything. Yeah, we are still in nothing in the extended range. So we have the enhanced risk today, and then tomorrow marginal, Thursday marginal, and then it's flat. So that's good. Anyways, you're welcome, Frankie. No problem. Let's see here. What time are storms going to kick off today? Later on this evening is when the big stuff are going to kind of kick off. Late afternoon, early evening. There's no specific time. It's just, kind of different everywhere. Let's see here. You always come through us, or always come through for us with nighttime coverage. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. You're very welcome. What's up, Faith? Hope you're doing good. Saying love from Washington County, Alabama. Hope you're doing good, my friend. What's up, Lane? Saying been watching you since your channel had around 20 subscribers. Wow, dude. You're an OG, man. I appreciate your kindness. You keep it real and are kind, grateful, and genuine. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, dude. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate it. What's up, Hoops? Saying, what's up, Andrew? What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. Ice Cream says new SPC. Oh, is it out? Oh, buddy. Drum roll, please. Alrighty. I don't think they upgraded it. Nah, it's still enhanced risk. Good. But did they add any... Did they not change anything? Did they really not change a darn thing? I don't think they changed anything on the risk. Really. I mean, there's no significant wind risk here. Still that 10% significant tornado risk here. Yeah, I really don't think they changed anything. Huh. Let's see here. Dirty Dan says, I have an outside dog. Do I think that she'll be safe? If there's nasty, severe weather coming in, like if you're under a warning, I would bring your dog in. Yeah, don't leave your dogs outside, guys. Let's see here. Roy says, do I think that storms in northeast Arkansas could be significant? So it depends on where. So if we hop on back over here to the outlook here. So, you can kind of see the far northeastern side. We do have... we do have that enhanced risk here in which, we actually do have some of the eastern sides of Arkansas could see possibly some strong tornadic activity, given that hatch risk there, actually, for some of the regions. So, I mean, yes, it is possible. In terms of damaging winds here, we also do have a pretty big risk on the northeastern side as well, and hail. We do actually have a significant hail concern for kind of portions of east central northeastern Arkansas for the possibility of hail between 2 and 3 inches in diameter, possibly even greater. Nature's crazy sometimes. But yeah, it is possible for sure, Roy. If there's a specific area that you would like me to look at, let me know. Because I would be more than glad to look at it for you. I would be more than glad, and that goes for all of you guys too. If any of y'all have an area that you want me to look at, like I said, hit me up. We're here for you. We got you guys. We're here for y'all. Let me take a quick little peek here at the risk for flooding today. Excessive rainfall outlook. We do have a slight risk today. So the yellow area here for a lot of Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee. We have a flooding concern today. It's at least a 15% chance for flooding across the yellow and at least a 5% chance for flooding across the green. So, yeah, especially if you're in the yellow, if you're in an area that's prone to flooding, be ready for that here. Tomorrow, we also do have a little level 2 threat for flooding up in like northern West Virginia, eastern Ohio, and like southwestern Pennsylvania. And then for Thursday, we're pretty clear. So, yeah, a little bit of a flooding threat today, as well as tomorrow too. Will be possible. You're in Searcy, Arkansas. Here, let me take a peek at that for you, Roy. Let's see what we got going on here for you. Yeah, it really ranges. Okay, yeah, so you're in the level 2 threat here. You're not in the big stuff. You do have a 5% chance for tornadoes today. You do also have a 15% wind risk here, potential for gusty winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then, of course, whenever it comes to it here, we also do have ourselves a 15% risk for hail, potential between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. What does Cookeville, Tennessee look like? So Cookeville is in the, let's see, level 3 threat for today, which does include a 10% significant tornado risk here. Potential for some strong tornadoes can't be ruled out, 10% chance. But we do have a 45% chance out there for damaging wind gusts here for the potential of 60 to 70 miles an hour in terms of gusts within the storms. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we do have a 15% hail risk for the possibility between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So that is that. Let's see here. Can severe weather happen during the summer month? Yes, of course. It can happen any time of the year. It's more common during springtime, though, because that's when you start to introduce a lot of warm air back into the cold United States. Because during the winter months, the country cools down both at ground level and upper levels of the atmosphere. And once you start introducing a lot of warm air, that creates a bunch of instability, which gets a lot of these storms cranking back up again. Let's see here. Is Riceville, Tennessee, in that 10% chance of tornadoes? Let's see here. Where was Riceville? I think I already went over that, didn't I? Riceville, Tennessee. Okay, so we are in the 10% non-significant risk. So you're outside of the significant risk for the potential of EF2 or greater potential. That's where the black dash line area is here in the yellow. Still 10% chance. That still goes outside. This is the area where EF2 plus could be possible. This is the region where we could see mostly, just probably lower scale tornadic activity. Yeah, no problem, Roy. Did I look at the NIU? I did not. 31st signal looks wild. I'll keep an eye on it. That's a little far out for me, though. I don't like to look too far out. You guys know me. Yeah, no problem, Ice Cream. What's up, Freebird? Hope you're doing good. Saying, hi, Andrew. How about the zip code? Yeah, I got you, my friend. Hope you're doing good, Freebird. Good to have you here. So, you, my friend, look at that. You are in the level, I believe you're in the level 2. Yep, level 2 severe weather threat for severe weather. You do have yourselves a 2% chance for tornadoes. So the odds of you getting a tornado is very low. So the odds are not really super likely. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 15% chance for gusty winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we do have ourselves a 5% chance for hail, ranging between 1 to 2 inches in diameter here overall. So that's what we're looking at there for hail. Let's see here. No problem, Dirty Dan. Ice Cream said I felt safe as in a storm shelter than a house, so I hope I can go to a shelter. Yeah, I mean, if it's needed, Ice Cream, just know where to go, okay? Joshua says, how bad will it be in LJ, Georgia, my dude? I got you, my friend. Let's take a look at you. Let's see what we got going on here. Alrighty, so we are in the level 3 threat, my friend. So you do have yourselves a 5% chance for tornadoes. So you're outside of that significant tornado risk area, but you do have a 5% chance for tornadoes. You have yourselves a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts for the potential of gusty winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And in terms of hail, we do have ourselves a 5% chance out there for hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter here overall. So we do have a level 3 threat, my friend. You should be weather aware, but you're outside of that significant tornado risk overall. No problem, Freebird. You're welcome. You are very, very welcome. Let's see here. Hello, Andrew. Are we in any weather? It depends on where you're at, Isaac. Yeah, no problem, Joshua. I got you. ATR says, look, the line is coming earlier than expected for South Carolina, probably while they upgraded. Did they upgrade for South Carolina? Here, let's take a peek at the radar here. Oh, yeah, we do have a little bit of convection starting. A few little cells developing here northwest of Columbia. They're nothing big right now, though. College has a public shelter. That's good. That's good. Well, at least you know where to go in case if there's a warning that gets issued. That's y'all's homework. Just know where to go in case if a warning gets issued. Yeah. I don't think they updated anything on the Outlook here. Nope. They still have the non-sig 45 wind threat, the 30% significant hail threat, and still the 10% significant tornado threat here. Yeah, they didn't change a darn thing, I don't think. It's still the exact same. At least very minimal updates if they did. It was a marginal yesterday. What, for today? No. Yesterday was also enhanced for today. Machine says we need more public shelters. Absolutely. Towards Decatur, Huntsville, Alabama. Not very many around. Yeah, it's good to have, for sure. Looks the same to you. Yeah, it does. I don't think they changed much of anything on the latest update. Matter of fact, I don't think they changed anything. You know what? Actually, I think they expanded that enhanced risk north, now that I look at it. Because now it includes Louisville. I don't think it did last time. Did it? I think that's what they did. I think they might have expanded the enhanced north a little bit. I could be wrong. What's up, Beth? Saying hello, Andrew. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Good to have you here. Did the slight risk get pushed further north, or has it been like that? I think it's been like that. It might have been pushed a little bit further north. Now that I look at it, it does look like it might be a little bit further up north. They did expand it, yeah. Yeah, they just didn't update the probabilities. The probabilities are still the same. You know, we still do got that 10% significant risk for tornadoes, and then the 45 non-significant risk for damaging winds, and then the 30% hatch risk for hail, 3 inches or possibly greater. Yeah, I mean, it does look like they did expand it a little bit north, though. But probabilities, once again, are still the same. What's up, Landon? Saying, question, who is in the worst of all this? So the heaviest impacted area today is expected to be across portions of like central southern Kentucky, you know, a lot of Tennessee, central northern Alabama, northwest Georgia, central northern Mississippi, and eastern Arkansas, and a little bit of like extreme southeastern Missouri and like extreme southern Illinois. That's where the level 3 threat or the maximum risk today is. So yeah, it's across a lot of these regions here. That's in the heavy stuff. The orange is the greatest risk for today. Tornado-wise, you can see this is where the potential for the strongest tornadoes exists. Mostly between like southwestern Kentucky, a lot of central western Tennessee, northern Alabama, and like central northern Mississippi. So yeah, that's where the greatest tornado risk is for today. And then winds is a little bit further east here. Like I said, the purplish pink color represents a 45% wind risk here, a 30% across the red, 15 yellow, 5 brown here, and then lastly hail. We have that 30% significant risk for hail. So that's where the dashed line is, representing that hatch risk. That's where we do have that potential for, once again, you know, maybe 2-3 inches in diameter, or maybe even larger. You know, it just depends. But anyways, my bad. The app I'm using has different colors. For some reason, it made it look like South Carolina was in hand. No, you're good. You're good. Hoop said some people thought it would be moderate today. Yeah, I mean, for tornadoes, I wouldn't think so. If it was, it would probably be gusty winds, but they didn't. The SPC didn't pull it. Regardless, you know, of it or not, we still need to be just as weather aware. That's what people fail to understand. Is like they're always worried about if it's going to be the next upgrade or not. But the thing is that you should still be still just as prepared, regardless of whatever it is. I mean, if it's an enhanced or a moderate, I mean, they're still both pretty decent severe weather risks in which you should still be just prepared, you know? Still be just as prepared. Let's see here. What's up, Chris? Saying, hello, Andrew. Do I think today events has a lot of potential for tornadoes, especially Clarksville, Tennessee, are more of a wind threat event? Thanks. So I think today is going to be a big wind bag with embedded tornadoes. That's kind of what I think today is going to be playing out as. So Clarksville, you guys are in the level 3 threat. Yeah, so you're in the enhanced risk here, which does include that 10% significant risk for tornadoes, 30% wind threat, and a 15% hail threat. So I think the main concern, yes, obviously is going to be damaging winds, mostly between, 60 and 70 miles an hour. So yes, we definitely need to be weather aware and watching the weather here. So keep an eye out there for that. All hazards will be possible. But yeah, I think the main concern, yes, is damaging winds following that tornado threat, then following that hail threat. That's what I'd go from greatest to least. Let's see here. Dirty Dan says, I don't have a basement, so what is the best place to go if I get a tornado warning? So if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter, go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor of your home. If you have a 2-story building, go to the lowest floor, the first floor, and to the middle of your home. If you have a 1-story building, just go to the center of your home, such as a closet, a bathroom would be a good place to go. Let's see here. No problem, Chris. You're welcome, my friend. Let's see here. Hoop says I could see a line of storms with a windbag. Some tornadoes today if they're discreet. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Yeah, I mean mostly a windbag. Think of it as a windbag with a bunch of tornadic potential. Or a broad area of tornado potential, I should say. Let's see. What's up, Janice? Saying hi, Andrew. What's up? What if you're in a mobile home? So if you're in a mobile home and you're under a warning, it would be best to leave your mobile home and find a sturdier structure because mobile homes, they are not built to withstand strong weather like that. I know there's wind class trailers. I know this because I live in one. There's wind class 1, 2, and 3. Wind class 2 and 3 are for areas in the deep south for hurricanes, and wind class 1 are for pretty much elsewhere. I know most trailers can withstand 70 to 80 miles an hour winds, but that's kind of pushing it. But tornado winds are going to be a lot stronger than that. So yeah, I mean, when there's a tornado, the trailer is not going to provide any protection. You need to find somewhere else to go. If it's just like a straight line wind concern between 60 and 70 miles an hour, you should be good if it's properly anchored, and everything like that. But yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I would go look out for another area to chill. Let's see here. How long have I been doing YouTube? Well, this channel, I've been doing this probably since late of 21. I think that's when I really started. It was late of 2021. I didn't go full time, I would say, until I want to say early 22. I've been doing this for a while though. I've known weather for a lot longer than I've done YouTube, but I started doing it for everybody late 21. I covered Mayfield. I did. But I think I was on break whenever Mayfield happened, unfortunately. It sucked. The Mayfield day was like my first big stream I did. Which, was it December 10th of 21? Or was it December 11th? I don't remember. Let's see here. What kind of public storm shelter stand? It just depends. It really depends. Yeah, it depends on how far apart the tie downs are for the wind class. My dad has tied his down every 5 feet. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I think I'm in a wind class 2 trailer, which our place here, it withstand Milton very well. They withstand Milton very, very well. The only thing is that it was it did kind of ruin some of our skirting on the bottom. Let's see here. Love your forecast for the soundings. No one else really does them. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand soundings. I think that's why other people don't do it. But I like to explain things sometimes and kind of explain to you why it's a concern or what is going on. So I try to change it up a little bit, You got to be unique. Got to be unique. Let's see here. I could have sworn I watched your live streams in 2022. I kind of remember. Yeah, you probably did. ATR, I know you've been around for a while, man. I recognize your name. I know you've been around here for a long time. Definitely many years. It's been a while, for sure. Anyways, folks. Well, like I said, guys, we're just kind of chilling here. If y'all have any questions, feel free to let us know. If you have any questions, what is that? Is that a severe thunderstorm warning? No, we got it. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts in southern Kentucky. Out there by Tompkinsville. Just going to mention that real quick. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, if you're curious on an area, if it's in the risk for severe weather today, or if you just have any questions in general, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Like I mentioned, we're here for you guys. I love y'all. I want to make sure you guys are staying weather aware, and I'll do whatever I can to make sure that you guys are, aware of what's going on and staying safe. That's what it's all about, man. I just love weather so much, and I just love helping you guys. That's just why I do this. I've always been a big fan of weather. It's just fascinating, dude. You know, it's never the same. It's never the same. There's always something different about every day. You know, it might look similar some days, but, you know, the ingredients are always different to some magnitude. It's never 100% the same. But anyways, all right, everybody. Well, I'm probably going to roll off here soon. You know, we've been live over 2 hours at this point here. I just wanted to hop on here for a little bit, do some updates for you. I just want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who's supported us and subscribed. You know, once again, thank you all so much. Y'all are awesome. I really appreciate y'all. Dirty Dan, the odds of that happening is very low. So keep an eye out there for the warnings later today. You know, we cannot rule out tornadic activity in the area, but the odds of you getting one is very, very low. Let's see here. Storms look nasty for Florence. I mean, later today it could definitely get pretty hefty. We do have a cell to the west of Florence right now, which is not currently severe or anything. LNA says 80-mile-an-hour winds at your zip code. What? Are you seeing it now, or what's going on for you? It's up in Wichita, right? Yeah, Wichita's clear. Anyways, already, guys. I don't know what I was saying. I don't know what I was saying there, man. Am I going live later? Probably, yes. ATR says, can I look at the timing for Lawrence, South Carolina? One more time for the main line of the models all over the place yesterday. Yeah, I got you. No problem at all. Let's go ahead and do that real quickly. Alrighty, so you... Alright, so there are some cells to your east that's developing here. So let's go to the 15 UTC run. This is the latest HRRR that we have. Yeah, so a couple pop-up storms are going to be possible throughout the afternoon, but it's not going to be until like really late. Actually, the new HRRR kind of suggests like post-midnight by the time those storms get there. So, but yeah, a couple showers, a couple storms between now and, you know, throughout the evening is going to be possible. But the big stuff is not going to be probably until like late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Alrighty, buddy. Well, I think I'm going to roll off here, y'all. I just want to say thank you for everything. You know, thank you for the supporters. Thank you for the people who have subscribed and leave the like. And, of course, the people who have donated as well. I really appreciate y'all. You know, for our donators, thank you so much for helping keeping us afloat. You know, we couldn't do this without y'all. So thank you all for the people who have helped contributed to our channel. Just want to go ahead and say thank you. Roy says, thank you. Have a great day. You as well, my friend. You take care. And, all right, everybody. Well, I'm going to go ahead and roll off here for now. So I'm going to go live later tonight probably for some coverage. It'll probably be pretty late, though. It'll probably be like right around midnight or so. So we'll definitely go live for you guys probably later on tonight. So look out there for that. But anyways, yeah, no problem, Hoops. No problem at all. But, all right, everybody. Well, you guys take care. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you guys could help share this channel as well to your friends, your family, it would be much appreciated. If you guys could just copy the link to this stream or this channel and just send it to them and tell them to subscribe. That way they can stay up to date with the weather too. That would be amazing. I really appreciate you guys. But, all right, everybody. Well, you all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your nights, or day, I should say. And we'll see you guys later on. All right, everybody. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.